Going on, guys? Orm Swarm coming at you guys again today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about day 18 training camp review of the Detroit Football Lions. Okay, it was an absolute scorching day on day 18, doing full pads all out. Dan Campbell having out there sweating. So not at practice, we had defensive tackle Deshaun Hand with a groin injury. Apparently his groin injury is a lot worse than they thought it would be. No shocker there. This is just a kid that just can't stay healthy, man. Can't stay healthy. Got all kinds of promise, all kinds of talent, just can't stay healthy, and they're very concerned about his groin. It's getting more serious by the day, I guess, so we're not going to be hearing about Deshaun Hand for a while. It's going to be just constantly not on practice. Who knows if they even keep him around. He could be getting cut. Wide receiver, Tyrell Williams. Turns out he's got a little bit of a groin issue going on right now, so they've been keeping him out. He was in street clothes, but he's catching some passes. I talk about it a little bit later. Then they held out cornerback Jeffrey Okudah. They say that he wasn't hurt. They're just saying that it was kind of like a workload management, just trying to make sure that he doesn't have too much going on with him right now. Just kind of easing him back, maybe just gearing him down a little bit, just calming him down. He had a little bit of a rough go on Saturday with the game, but then he did come back, make a nice play, but he made a couple mental errors on Saturday. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but there was some heavy criticism going on from him from DC Aaron Glenn, saying that he needs his boy to be focused. He needs him to be mentally prepared out there. Aubrey Pleasant kind of voicing the same thing, and what's his name? Dan Campbell kind of saying the same thing. So maybe they just wanted him just to sit back, evaluate some things, and he just sat out practice. So Hand nowhere to be found, like I said. T. Will was out there. Tyrell Williams was out there in the street clothes playing some catch. So it's good that and then Okudah went through some walkthroughs without a helmet. Then he went back inside to the building, probably maybe to go through some tape or whatever he had to do, and then he came back out a little bit later on the end of practice, and like I said, he was saying it was like a workload issue, so just kind of maybe gearing it down a little bit for him. Nothing serious. And then limited defensive tackle Michael Brockers, the vet treatment thing going on again. Nobody knows what's wrong with him. I know that they've said that they want to get him to about 100%. That's what Dan Campbell has said before week 1, so I don't know what's wrong with him. Something's got to be going on with him. Obviously he's not 100%, but we just don't know what the injury is, but he's got something going on. Returned running back DeAndre Swift, good sign. O-lineman Tyrell Crosby, another great sign. Tight end TJ Hawkinson came back too as well, great sign. Defensive tackle John Pedicini back. Defensive tackle Nick Williams back. And cornerback Corn Elder back as well. Swift was out there, not limited, so that's good. That's a good thing to hear and see. And he was moving very well, jump cutting, making nice moves, squeezing in the holes, catching the ball, doing things that you want your running back to do, obviously. And he was out there playing. So Elder was the third team. Elder was with the third team D, playing some cornerback. He's been bumped down in the depth chart, and Pedicini was with the second team D. That's what basically you're going to see. You're going to be seeing. We're probably going to see a real heavy rotation of Ali McNeil and John Pedicini, anyways, at that true nose tackle spot. And then you can even Ali McNeil can even bounce a little bit to over the guard too in that 3 tech. So that's a good sign too as well. And then still no doubt that Goff's number 1 target is Hawkinson. They connected about 4 times, maybe even more during team drills. They're just, these guys, Hawkinson confirming that they have spent a lot of time together after practice, before preseason games, running routes, getting timing down, mental, physical, everything. So that's a really good sign. Something that I've probably reported every other day. It feels like that these two guys are just in sync right now, and that's a good thing. And they're just putting in a lot of work, which is good. And like I said earlier, Swift was moving. He looked fast and shifty. The cause for concern is dwindling a little bit now, so at least maybe Campbell's comments lit a fire under Smith's butt. Swift's butt, and Swift had a very impressive cut between Sewell and Big V on one drill that looked like a big gainer for a big 40 to 50 yard touchdown, which is something that you want to hear too. So the wheels are there. He's healthy right now. Let's keep him healthy. And then there was a Ifeatu Melifonwu sighting, the cornerback that we drafted in the 3rd round out of Syracuse, which is good to hear too. It's been very quiet for Iffy so far. Okuda was out, and Melifonwu got to rep with the first team D, and that's good too. That's something that you want to see. You want to see the young guys kind of stepping up there. Nothing to report really good or bad here, but I'm focusing on we didn't see anything bad here. So that's good that he was out there playing some. I guess he got beat on one. He got beat on one route by Khalif Raymond, maybe by a step or two, but it was a bad pass and Raymond never got to it. But other than that, he was just good. He was safe. He didn't do anything silly, anything to keep himself off to the sideline. So that's good to see and hear as well. And the wide receivers, Campbell has made it crystal clear that this wide receiver room is very incomplete. It's not even close to being done, not close to being ready. He doesn't know. It's wide open. It's pretty much wide open. There's our top 3 or 4 guys, and after that, we just don't know. So Cephas, Perryman, and Damian Ratley all had first team reps because Tyrell Williams was out as well too. So that was good for Cephas, Perryman, and Ratley. Cephas trying to get a lot of playing time this year. Perryman was signed to be our wide receiver too. He's been very inconsistent in camp. He's gotten hurt, so he got bumped down in the depth chart. And Ratley's just Ratley. He's just a guy that kind of bounced around team to team with the kid that has a lot of speed. But I have a feeling he's going to get cut. But it was not a very good day for the wide receivers. Bolden had another deep ball drop after beating Aurorier. He beat him on a route. He couldn't hold on to the ball, which isn't good for him. This kid's going to get cut. I can already tell you right now. Ever since they've been talked to him up for about a week, maybe a little bit more. Ever since then, it's been like he's been horrific. He's dropping everything in sight. He's just not doing things he should be doing, muffing punts. Just not a good sign for him right now. McKinley fumbled the ball too after making a catch. That's the undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame. Surratt did have a couple catches, but he also had a couple drops as well and a fumble. So he just didn't have a good day too. That's another undrafted free agent out of Wake Forest. And Perriman did take a post route for about 20 to 30 yards, made a catch. That was one of the highlights of the day for the wide receivers, and Perriman needs that. So good for him. And then Raymond did look good on a fly pattern where he beat A.J. Parker, an undrafted free agent, for about 50 yards and a touchdown for a 50-pluser. So good for Khalif Raymond. He continues to shine. He has pretty much taken over that wide receiver 2 right now. That's a small wide receiver 2 out on the outside right now, but he's been making plays. So that's all it's going to come down to. Like, I don't know if Dan Campbell's is gonna stick with that, because Khalif Raymond isn't really an outside wide receiver, I wouldn't think, but you can't ignore the production right now that he's doing out there. At least he's not playing in these preseason games for a reason, because they like what they see in him, and he's going to be the starter. Right now he's at WR2, and Perriman right now is on the brink of getting cut. There's a few guys are on the brink of getting cut, and there's going to be a few of them. Well, so they need to step up. And then there was a couple tight end injury scares as well. Elise Mack took a helmet it was a helmet or a shoulder to his midsection, got hit. I think it was Corn Elder who hit him, and then it was a bad pass. So all that just kind of, boom, collision just happened. It was a bad one. Went inside, but returned back to practice. Had a little bit of a conversation with Dan Campbell before he went back out there. Campbell making sure that he was okay, and he went back to practice, which is a good sign. Good to see that the coach cares. Love that. And then Brock Wright, another undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame again. He limped off the field too. I don't think he returned. So the big fella had a little bit of a problem, but we're going to be seeing a lot of Elise Mack and Brock Wright on Friday night versus the Colts, the last preseason game to wrap up that tight end 3 spot. I still think Mac has the advantage by a little bit. It was a lot at one point, but now I think it's just a little bit now. So we're going to see those two out there fighting for that TE3, that tight end 3. So let's see what happens there. And then wide receiver Tom Kennedy was not really doing any new special team drills like Dan Campbell kind of alluded to. He was talking about Tom Kennedy. He loves him right now, saying, I got to see Campbell was talking about Kennedy, saying that he needs to see him maybe do some new special team work, maybe some new special team drills. Maybe they can put him somewhere else as a gunner or something, just to get him on the field, because I think they really want him on the 53-man roster. But I've told you guys about my opinion on Tom Kennedy. I think he's in a bad spot right now. He's producing. He's doing good things out there. He's not dropping any balls. He's doing everything they asked for, but he's kind of in a bad spot because he's mainly a slot guy, and they already got St. Brown there. Khalif Raymond's probably just a slot guy, but he's going to be playing some outside. And Tom Kennedy, he's kind of fighting for his life. There doesn't seem to be room there. I think they want some size. They don't want just a bunch of small guys out there. They need some size out there. So hopefully Tom Kennedy can learn something new, maybe on special teams. But right now he's just doing the same thing. He's taking the second and third team reps as the kick returner and punt returner. I hope they really keep this guy on the roster though. And then linebacker, another undrafted free agent out of Marshall, Tavante Beckett, was getting some first team reps out there on day 18 in 3 linebacker sets. Aaron Glenn loves him, taking notice about what he did on the last preseason game. He made a couple of nice tackles, made a couple of nice plays. And this kid's a really good football player. This kid was a Division I football player at one point. Got into a little bit of trouble. Got into a little bit of trouble in college with the weed. He was getting high. He was getting stupid. He had a bunch of weed on him. Then I think he was at Virginia Tech. I want to say, don't quote me on that. A Hokie, I think he was. But he was a really good football player. He kind of had to transfer out. Then he transferred to Marshall. Marshall's a pretty good football school though, but he got in a little bit of trouble and he became like a stud at Marshall. Went undrafted, had some character issues. Lions picked him up. This is a kid that I really liked. Now they're looking at him to probably be a practice squad guy, but this linebacking core is not that great. And if Jelani Tavai gets dropped here, Beckett could slide in there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. He's a little bit of a smaller. He's a tweener. He's too big to play safety. He's too small, really, to play linebacker. Not that he's too small. It's just that he's smaller. He's a smallish linebacker, and he's too big to play safety. So he's one of those tweeners. You know what I mean? But he's a good football player. He was really good at Marshall. I think he won Defensive Player of the Year one time his last year at Marshall for that division. So he's a really good baller, man. He's a baller, man. And I like him. He's out there making plays. We're going to see a lot of him on Friday night. Hopefully he can make a lot of good plays and then he can get himself on this roster or at least the practice squad. I really hope he just sticks around. Aaron Glenn loves him. Then Evan Heim, another guard, kind of like center, was playing some center snaps during drills on day 18. Evan Brown, who's pretty much our backup center to Frank Ragnow, played 100% of the snaps against Pittsburgh last Friday. And I think now there's going to be maybe a little bit of competition of who's going to be the backup. I think Brown has it pretty much locked up, but they're going to give Heim every opportunity to play some center, I think, on Friday night. Lots of attention was going on Penei Sewell's pass protection. They were really focusing on that, working on his feet, working on his hand placement. That was noticed big time. And no problem with the way that they're going to run the ball behind him. That's not even going to be an issue. They just need to work on some of his pass pro. 20 years old, he's going to be okay. But there is a little bit of concern right there that his pass protection needs a lot of work, and it does need some work. Then safety Elijah Holder was out there, another guy they picked up on a free agent pickup, I believe it was. Played for Denver, I think, for a couple seasons. yeah, as a safety, kind of cornerback safety guy. He made a couple nice plays on day 18. Maybe another practice squad player, who knows? But he could be going on that PS right there. He had a nice pass deflection on a deep ball to Tom Kennedy, knocked it away, and then he caused a fumble on, I believe it was Javon McKinley, who he knocked the ball out of his hands on an 11 on 11 drill. So that's good for Holder. Yeah, I guess he's been playing a little bit better. Even in my report about the football game on Friday versus Steelers, I had a little bit of I talked about Holder a bit. I go, he made some plays, but it was a little bit downfield. He wrapped up. He made some nice tackles, but he did give up some chunks. But he's been playing better in camp, so he could be a practice squad guy. And then I'm going to end it off with there's some versatility showing with our 3rd round pick, Lee McNeil. Lined up at the nose tackle spot where we're going to see him a lot. We're going to see him most of the time, I think. And then he shifted over to the 3 tech. And then if you want to know what a 3 tech is, a 3 tech is like pretty much moving over to the outside shoulder of the guard. So not only can Lee McNeil just play straight up on a center, a 0 tech, whatever you want to call it, he can move over and play some 3 tech as well too. Because Jashawn Cornell, the 7th round pick that we picked up out of Ohio State Buckeyes, that defensive tackle, he moved to the inside and he lined up in front of the center. So he was a nose tackle. So a lot of versatility between 2 of those kids, which is really good to hear. Jashawn Cornell is going to be a guy that 3-game suspension coming up, substance abuse. So don't really know what it was, but he got dinged for it. He's going to miss 3 games because of it. And but Lee McNeil just showing his versatility out there, because he has, for a big fella, for a 330 pound man, he has some giddy up to the quarterback. He's not just a run stuffer. He's very athletic for his size. He's got great feet. He's got great hands. He's powerful. So that's really good to hear, and that's very promising. It's very good to hear. So that's all it was, guys. That's what the reports I got. That's the reports I'm giving you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all the videos, and let's like and comment. So we can go back and forth about some Lions football. There's a game in a couple days. It's the last preseason game versus the Colts. I think there's one more day left of training camp reports that I have to give you guys, and then it's pretty much on the football. All right, thanks guys. Let's go. Boom, go Lions.